Eerie, abandoned, and even haunted. Nothing gets you in the spirit of Halloween better than exploring all the creepy places you can find. Once bustling mining towns, former state capitals, and even a town that had a horror video game and movie franchise built around it. Make sure you keep your lights on for this one, because we're about to explore the creepiest small towns you will find anywhere in America. A town once home to over 1,000 people is now one of the most infamous abandoned places on Earth. Centralia, Pennsylvania was a coal town, full of hard-working miners and their families. But then, in 1962, a fire was started in a trash dump. This wasn't an ordinary fire though, because it was started over an open coal seam. So the fire kept burning and burning underground, as Centralia sits over one of the largest deposits of coal in America, known as the Mammoth Vein. There were many attempts to put out the fire, but the government had no luck. Hundreds of families left town, which would go on to become legendary in its own right. Centralia is such an eerie town that it even inspired the horror game and movie franchise Silent Hill. While no one has died in the town, one boy came close in 1981, when 12-year-old Todd Domboski was playing in his yard and suddenly had the ground cave in underneath him. The hole was 150 feet deep and filled with carbon monoxide. Because of the possibility of something like this happening and the toxic nature of Centralia, visitors are discouraged from checking out the ghost town, but you can go and visit what remains. But be careful with this one, because it really is a dangerous spot these days. Imagine if a whole neighborhood picked up and left one day, but you could go tour around and see where everyone once lived and carried out their day-to-day lives. That's what a stop in Kennecott, Alaska is like, and it's as eerie as it gets. Businesses, shops, a train station, and plenty of life once defined Kennecott in the early 1900s. It was at one point the world's richest copper mine, but the town vanished in the blink of an eye in 1938. The town's citizens abruptly picked up and left because the town simply ran out of its copper ore. But fascinatingly, Kennecott remains untouched today, as if the whole town went out and hasn't come home yet. You can go on tours and explore the area safely. You'll see barns, recreation halls, schoolhouses, cottages, and everything else that made the town what it once was. Just don't go out at night though, because many have said that the main street in the town has seen plenty of ghostly activity, with visitors saying they feel as though they are being watched with every step they take. Beware of the Bodie Curse, a town in a state of arrested decay. That is what visitors will discover when exploring what remains of Bodie, California. This town was once home to nearly 10,000 people, as it was a hotbed for gold. Today, its population has evaporated, and the buildings have been preserved in their aged and weathered 1880s appearance. Bodie State Historic Park allows its visitors to walk around the old town and explore what's left of it. Over 200 abandoned wooden buildings, including a church, schoolhouse, barbershop, saloon, and more. But the town is filled with ghostly legends that you must keep in mind before visiting. It has been said that the house of J.S. Kane is haunted by the ghost of a Chinese maid. Park rangers that have been in the house say that the spirit dislikes adults but loves children. The Gregory house is rumored to be haunted by the ghost of an old woman, and guests say that they have seen her sitting in a rocking chair. There are some friendlier ghosts in town though, such as the ones at the Mendocini house. Visitors have reportedly smelled the aroma of Italian food cooked by the family that once occupied the house. If you do visit Bodie, make sure you don't take anything. Otherwise, you may fall under the Bodie curse and be left with bad luck, in accordance with local legend, of course. A town flooded out and haunted by a ghostly orb. Being located between two rivers probably isn't the best idea for urban planning. Cahaba, Alabama apparently didn't get the memo, as it was flooded consistently. What was once the state's capital was deserted by its citizens after the Civil War. Nature has taken much of Cahaba back, but it can still be visited today. Old Cahaba Archaeological Park is open year-round to explore, and those with a yearning for the paranormal and creepiness that abandoned ghost towns are known for won't be disappointed. Cahaba legend has it that in 1862, a young lady and gentleman were walking in a maze of cedars under the beautiful moonlight sky. Suddenly, they saw a large white ball floating in front of them. The man tried to grab it, but it quickly floated away. out of sight in the blink of an eye. Today, that orb is known as the Piggy's ghost. Who knows, maybe you'll have better luck than the gentleman, and you can go find it yourself. Imagine spending the night in an empty town. Well, that's exactly what you can do if you visit St. Elmo, Colorado. This is another example of a mining town that moved out after gold and silver ore ran up, and disease started to plague the population. The train service getting cut off in the 1920s didn't help either. Today, however, if you want to explore what remains of the area, you can, and it is one of the best preserved ghost towns you'll find. In addition, St. Elmo is one of the best spots for paranormal activity in Colorado. The most famous ghost of St. Elmo is Annabelle, Dirty Annie Stark. Annie grew up with a mother that never allowed her to go out and experience the life that St. Elmo had to offer. But when her mother died, Annie began to act out in rebellion and would roam the streets in dirty clothing, with her hair in a tangled mess. It's said that her spirit can be seen roaming the streets today. And if you're interested in more of that kind of creepy stuff, there are plenty of other ghost sightings that have been rumored in the area. Visit at your own risk. It was once the most influential, richest, and largest city in Nevada. Now, it's one of the most haunted places on Earth, according to paranormal experts. From 20,000 people in the early 1900s to 250 today, Goldfield is now a living ghost town. This is one of the creepiest entries on our list because of the sheer number of haunted spots in Goldfield. The town once had a luxurious hotel, one of the best in the US at the time. It was known as Goldfield Hotel and opened in 1908. It really was as nice as hotels come. It had telephones, electricity, and even a heating system. Bear in mind, it was the 1900s, and these things were definitely luxuries back then. But today, Goldfield Hotel has all sorts of haunted energy that consumes it. It's been said that the mistress of George Wingfield still roams the hotel today. Visitors can go on ghost tours to this alleged portal to the underworld, as well as the equally spooky and haunted Goldfield Historic High School across the street. Don't let the name of this town fool you. Years ago, the Munsee Indian tribe populated Doodletown, New York, and now it is populated by mostly birds and snakes. The Munsee Indians named the town after the Dutch word doodle, which means dead valley. In the 1920s, the town found its purpose as it was used for mining iron as the US prepared for war. But as time passed and the need for iron declined, the town's population dwindled, and the government decided to develop a park in the area. Residents left their homes and their houses were demolished, and the town returned to its natural form. Today, visitors can explore the area through hiking. The main structures in the town are marked by plaques to commemorate their value, and the buildings, homes, bridges, and stairwells still left lay there in ruins. As you hike through the Eerie woods, you might come up on some buried personal belongings of the people who once called Doodletown home. This is a great one to explore, but if you do go, be careful, because there are a lot of dangerous snakes and insects that now call Dead Valley home. There's nothing like getting in the spirit of Halloween. In the month of October, like checking out all the creepy towns America has to offer. Visit the ones we discussed today at your own risk though, because many of them are scarier than the horror movies.